Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to your new course, Advanced Taxation, ACC 4243 for Semester 2, 2023-2024. Your lecturer, I'm Dr. Khadijah Muhammad Isa, and of course, I'm from Department of Accounting. My room is at A334, level 3, and that's my contact number. So this course, I will be with you until the end of week 14. All right. And the platform that we'll be using is Microsoft Teams and WhatsApp group. So I have shared with the department the liaison from your students council that the Microsoft Teams link and WhatsApp has been shared, and please join the group accordingly. All right. So your course Advanced Taxation 4243 is an elective course for your degree of accounting. And the good thing about this course is that if you pass this course, all right, you are actually given a full credit for the same paper under MICPA, which is the ASC taxation nation subject. All right. But you must pass both the course, then only you get exemption for the MICPA nation taxation. All right, not for ACCA and not for any other professional paper, only exemption for MICPA. However, most of the content in this paper is similar to other tax paper in the professional paper exam. Yeah, for example, your ACCA. But it may not be similar, all right, but most of the topics are covered uh, in this subject. Yeah, okay. This arrangement is because of the collaboration between MIPA and IUM. Yeah, right. So you understand that you pass this paper means that minimum 50, then you get exemption for MIPA paper for tax. Okay, so for this course, the main reference will be using the MIPA Candidate Study Guide, which is issued in August 2023. So this study guide is for students, and this study guide is updated from time to time according to the latest legislation. All right, the price of the study guide is 250 ringgit. However, for the previous semester, MIPA do subsidize to all eligible students. So the discounted price for the MIPA reference or the candidate study guide is RM 100 ringgit, right? So it's on a hard copy in a file where you can actually you don't have to bring the whole set every time you come to class. You may select few of the chapters that we are going to cover according to our class schedule or our course plan. All right, so normally this will be available within the first week or the second week of the class. So hopefully we'll have this as soon as possible. I have actually dealt with the MIPA person in charge to have this guide ready before we meet in the third. All right. Okay, for this semester 2, I'll be going for my Umrah leave from 5th of March until 16. Therefore, we are going to have a recorded lecture for the first 2 weeks. All right, so please refer to the recorded lecture that I give you. All right, and hopefully you'll be able to prepare yourself for the coverage for the 2 weeks. All right, and then we'll come back and see you on the first face-to-face class on 19th of March. Right? Is that clear? Okay. Okay. On top of that, right? So what is under this advanced taxation? All right. So because we are actually getting an exemption from the MIPA paper, right? So the cost is actually being arranged, all right, in accordance to the MIPA standard. Yeah. So we are going to follow exactly what is actually being taken or covered by the same paper under MIPA. Yeah. So these topics we have 32 chapters, a lot, yeah, but these chapters are divided into three categories, I would say. All right, so let's see. All right, for the first chapter 1 to chapter 5 is actually a revision of what we had in the previous class, taxation 2. Right. So if you still remember, we do have covered your business income and your business expenses. And for corporation, we have actually learned on how to determine the chargeable income of a corporation. Right. So starting given a profit and loss account or statement of comprehensive income, then you have to compute what is the chargeable income according to the Income Tax Law 1967. Yeah, Income Tax Act actually, yeah, 1967. So this income, whether income is taxable or whether income is under Section 4A, B, Section A, Section C, for Section D, all right, and then the capital allowance, all that lah. So whether expenses is deductible or not, whether you can claim double deduction on all these specialized deductions. So this is under Chapter 1, Chapter 5. So it's a revision, right? Even though there are 32 chapters, but you'll see that some of those chapters, for example, the first 5 chapters are the revision chapters, all right? The one that we have covered in your text 2, all right? All right. So those chapters, I may not be able to cover everything, all right? But we are going to do some exercises or tutorial because these are very important chapter for the purpose of your final exam as well as your other assessment. Okay, for the second part, right, is chapter 6 to chapter 16. So these are the coverage for specialized industries. Yeah, specialized industries, for example, we're looking into banking, insurance, shipping, airlines, because this is what we call specialized industries. So the tax com is not similar to the normal corporate tax com that we have been doing in chapter 1 to chapter 5, right? On top of that, we also have topics specialized tax com, all right, because it's not the same as before. So for example, we also have for estate, for trust, for club, for association. Yeah, so all these will be covered in chapter 6 to chapter 16. Right, and then we have the third part, we have chapter 17 to 32 that focus on tax incentives that are given a lot to corporation. We're also going to look back into this topic, withholding tax and double tax agreement. As I mentioned, incentive, we have covered your pioneer status, investment tax allowance, and reinvestment allowance in your tax too. All right, so but we still have this topic in your advanced taxation. So it's a revision topic. Similarly, with withholding tax and double tax agreement is also a revision from your tax too. And we also have RPGT, real property gains tax, that will also be covered in this advanced taxation. Yeah, but again, as we have, it's a review topic. Therefore, I will not go very detailed into this topic. So it's kind of revision, then you go back. We just review a bit and then you have to do a lot more exercises because this topic will be assessed in your final exam, for example. Yeah. But we also have RPC, real property companies, that we have not covered before, but still under RPGT. Yeah, so that is a new topic. We also have indirect taxes, where we have covered, we have sales tax and service tax. On top of that, this course will also look into other indirect taxes, for example, your stamp duty or other taxes, for example, stamp duty, custom excise duty. So all these things is covered also, but a very topic is very, very small. And finally, we do have what we have, hold on, yeah, a tax planning, which is very important. So tax planning here, we're looking at the corporate level, yeah, for tax planning for not only for corporate, but also we have tax planning for individuals. But for individual, we have actually covered when you do your tax 1, for example, how to maximize your relief and your rebate. So that's the main claims or deduction that individual can claim in order to reduce their tax liability. But for companies, we are looking at the more efficient all right, or more effective scheme, all right, for a company to take up in order to reduce their tax liability. Yeah, so that is also covered in this advanced taxation. All right, so we have 32 chapters, but some of those chapters are revisions from your taxation 2 paper, right? So we'll go through together, right? Don't worry, inshallah. Okay, the next one is that all right, these are the cost outline, all right, which have been approved by the Senate, all right, for the purpose of exemption. So is the cost outline is prepared according to the MIPA syllabus. So this one is aligned with the CSG or the study guide that we have showed earlier. All right, so you can see that there are 14 weeks. So these are the topics that we covered. All right, principal taxation. All right, and then we have trust, estate. So all these things is actually as per chapter 1 to chapter 32, as we have discussed earlier. All right. However, I have also arranged the topic according to the chapters. All right. So if you can see that the first two here, all right, if I can make it, all right, can you see that? In week 1, we have principal taxation and corporate tax. So all this chapter 1 to chapter 5, referring mid-part CSG chapter. Right, so chapter 1 to chapter 5 is a revision chapter. All right, so you have done this before. So the first week here is that you have to review your corporate taxation. All right, and then these, all right, later we'll see on the assessment. Yeah, and then starting from week 2, all right, we're going to go into the specialized industries that we have the yellow colored here. Yeah, why did I put that as a yellow colored? So these are the part 2 just now. The part 1, chapter 1 to 5. Part 2 is from chapter 6 to chapter 16. All right, so we have that yellow colored. So there's a reason for why I put that into separate color coding. All right, and then we have your following. I leave it one here. All right. And then you can see that I have also identified which are the topic that are actually a revision topic. For example, you have this withholding tax, double tax agreement, RPGT, tax incentive. All right. So all these are actually the revision topic. All right. So we may not cover everything. So you see that the topic are a lot, all right? 32 chapters is a lot. So we may be using some of this time, all right, to look into the new topics as well, yeah, so that we can actually emphasize on the new topics to ensure that you understand the new topics, and the old topics or the revised topics, all right, you have to uh, work on your own a lot, yeah, because this is why we have covered earlier. Okay, so in total we have 14 weeks, all right. And then we have assessment 1, all right, there's a typo there, assessment 1 and assessment 2. And then we also have your group project and final exam. So this one is an assessment that we have lah. Okay. The next one is on the cost structure, right, where we have your assessment 1, we have assessment 2, we have group project, and we also have a final exam. All right. So this is the assessment which is actually being decided by the MIPA examination board. Yeah. So we only have to follow their structure, but we are given a bit of um where we say that, all right, for MIPA, actually, assessment 1 carries 20%, assessment 2 carries 20%, and final exam is 60%. So MIPA actual paper, they don't have the group project, all right? But for our paper, we have group project that carries 10%. So final exam, total mark is 60, but we only take 50% for that. So you have cost assessment, means that your continuous assessment is 50%, which is made up of your assessment 1, assessment 2, and group project. And final exam, another 50%. Okay, so for assessment 1, let's look into this further. All right, the coverage for assessment 1 is from chapter 1 to chapter 5. So what is chapter 1 to 5? Is the corporate taxation, right? Looking at your corporate tax, your business income, and your business expenses, and the computation of your chargeable income for a company. So that carries 20%. And this is actually an individual assessment. However, all right, you are given the question, you are given the question, and then you are going to submit within 1 week. All right. So I will give out the question on in week 4. All right, Monday, week 4, but you have to submit on week 5 on Monday by 5 p.m. Understand? So it's an individual, but you have 1 week to prepare or to discuss before you submit your individual work, right? Similarly, for assessment 2, that carries 20%, and this assessment 2 covers chapter 6 to chapter 16. So that's why I put the color coded there. All right, it means that your assessment 1 covers for chapter 1 to chapter 5. Assessment 2 covers chapter 6 to chapter 16. All right. And there are a lot of chapter 6 to chapter 16. There are a lot of topics. Yeah. So we have to do that. And then it means that, but then, all right, we still have to have the assessment to be given out on week 7. And you have to submit within 1 week in week 8, which is on Monday, 29th of April, 2024 by 5 p.m. All right. Normally, there are 2 questions for assessment 1 and 2 questions for assessment 2. Right? Okay. Remember, this is individual. Yeah. And then we have group project that is 10%. Yeah. So 10. And this one will be submitted in week 13. Again, on Monday, 3rd of June, 2024. What is that? 9 to 10 to silap tu. Right? I think that one, apa 9 to 10? It's not exam, yeah? So you have to submit by 5 p.m. Let me put here. Apa ni? Okay? All right. Okay, so that is on your group project. All right, so we'll discuss on this group project later. I will give out all the assignment and you have to do that in a group maximum of, let me see, now we have 18 to 20 students, so maybe a group of 3. So we have 6 groups, right? Or maybe if you have 20 students, maybe we have group of 4, maybe group of 4 would do, right? Or group of 3. 3 better lah, coach. Then you have to work together rather than you divide the topic. Okay. And finally, your final exam carries 50%. Okay. Your final exam, okay, the coverage is all except your chapter 16 to chapter 6 to chapter 16. Right? So it covers from chapter 1 to 5 and chapter 17 to 32. So we have taken out 10 or 11 topics, all right, from your final exam. So that actually, this is the new structure, which is actually being this semester 2 is the implementation of this. Previously, we have all the chapters to be covered in your final exam. Yeah, so it's a lot, but alhamdulillah, in semester 2 onwards, all right, we have taken out chapter 6 to 16 from the final exam. So we only test you from the balance topics. Yeah, so that carries 50%. And in your final exam, there will be 3 questions, all right, from chapter 1 to 5, and then we have chapter 17 to 32. Okay, right. So that is on assessment. On your final exam, okay, similarly, because assessment is a 1 week, so it means that you can refer to your textbook, everything, the resources is there. For your final exam, all right, the final exam follows MIPA Tax Malaysia format. All right, so it means that we have 3 questions now, that each question carries 20 marks. So total mark is 60, but from that 60, we only take 50% of that. Yeah. Okay. The exam is an open book. Right. So when it's an open book, it means that you can bring your notes, you can bring your CSG guide. All right. You can refer to all the references. All right. However, all right, you're not allowed to communicate among each other, of course. Yeah. And you are also allowed to use or to answer your final exam in an Excel. It means that what we have done all this while is that your final exam will be in a conference room whereby you can use your laptop, all right, to do your answer in Excel. However, the submission is still in a PDF form. Yeah. However, if you are not, you still want to do a handwritten exam, is okay, still okay, is still allowable. Therefore, we can have both Excel and a written form. Yeah. So, but again, I would like to remind you that when we have an open book exam, all right, the challenge is that you tend to refer to everything in the textbook or in your resources, all right, in your notes, and that will take a lot of time. All right, so you may not be able to focus on answering the question, but you spend a lot more time looking for the answers. Yeah, looking for the how to answer the question. So students may find it that time 3 hours is not enough, but actually it should be enough for everyone because it has been tested, all right, and the exam is actually prepared by myself, the instructor, but the exam question for the final is actually sent to MIPA for vetting purpose. All right, so MIPA will send to their test expert to look into the question and the solution and to make sure that the question and solution meet their standard. Then only it can be approved by MIPA, then only we can use the question for the final exam. So the process is longer, but the good thing is that your question is actually being vetted by the external parties who are professional. Yeah, they are professional experts in this area. Okay, so that is on your final exam. All right. And then we also have a briefing by MIPA. So normally what they do is that they will come in the first day. All right. The briefing is more on looking into the opportunity, for example, in terms of the scholarship, all right, in terms of the opportunity for you to pursue MIPA papers. So they normally come. But however, because I be on leave for 2 weeks, all right, I will not be able in class. So I have said that the briefing by MIPA in our class will be on my first, not Thursday. I think that 19th of March is on Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday, 19th of March, which is our first class at 10 a.m. All right, the venue is SR 3.9, our classroom, and attendance is compulsory. So normally that will take about 10 to 15 minutes to brief about this paper, all right, and then to give you, to answer any of your queries regard to the MIPA examination. Yeah. So I think that's all for the first part on the introduction of this course. Yeah, I wish that this will not scare you off. All right. Alhamdulillah, in the last semester, we have 100% pass. Similarly, in the previous semester, we also have 100% pass. All right. So I think that you can also do that, inshallah. All right. With the right attitudes. All right. A lot of exercises. You do all the tutorial questions, all the passes question. All right. Inshallah, you'll do well. Yeah. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.